Good afternoon, happy Tuesday. I'm coming to tell you about something I'm just about to do. Now, it's exam season at the moment, only for a smaller number of people now, not quite as big as it is in the summer. But what's going on is what we call the November resits. And I call it November resits, but it's not all about resitting. There are a large number of people who actually in year 11 actually sit their maths and numeracy GCSE in November. So there are people who are still in secondary school who are doing their maths GCSE at the moment in Wales. So they did their first paper yesterday, and it's the second paper tomorrow, otherwise known as Unit 2. Now, I have a student who I'm going to be seeing again later on, which is really nice. I thought I'd finish my lessons with her, and she wants another lesson with me tonight, which is fab. There was space for her. And she's given me a list, which she's had from school, of all of the topics that are kind of expected to come up on Unit 2 tomorrow. So I have it here, and I also have lots of past papers for WJEC. So what I am going to do now is I am going to go through this list, and I am going to pick out an example of each of those topics from a past WJEC paper, and I'm going to go through it with my new friends. This is a visualizer. So I've been wanting to get one of these for a while, and I was like, I didn't really have the money to be able to do it. And you know what? I decided to do the stuff I really want to do and the stuff I really love doing for people, which is recording and doing video walkthroughs of things to get out to people who can't afford tutoring. But anyway, I decided to buy one. So literally all I do is I plug this into my laptop, I go into the app, get some paper, and I press record, and I just go blah 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 blah. You can't see me, but that's okay. I want you to be looking at this stuff that I'm then talking you through. Now, every time I do one of these videos and one of these topics, I'm going to save it and I'm going to put it onto YouTube. So if you know anybody who has a maths GCSE tomorrow, I'm just focusing on intermediate level. But obviously there will be overlaps with topics that will come up for higher level students as well, because the harder questions for intermediate are the easier questions for higher level. So there will be topics on there that will be relevant to both. So what I'm actually going to do now is I am going to record, I'm just going to tell you now. So the things that have come up, and what I will do is I'll do a list of this and put it in the comments. So the sort of the things that the wording of this that was written up by the particular school stroke sixth form college that my student comes from, you know, it's not that they're guaranteed going to come up, they're expected. So in other words, in Unit 1 they haven't appeared yet. So you generally will expect that most topics will come up across the set of papers you've got in some form or another. And sometimes you will find that there will be an overlap. So a particular question, for example, I'm just going to pick one here, median and range. There's also a question about the estimated mean. So it could be within that, within the same question, you have the mean, estimated mean, and the median and range. So they're not necessarily going to be exclusive questions. But if you were to put your focus on something tonight, or maybe this afternoon, which is why I want to try and get these out for you, I would literally go through this list and think, trial and improvement. How do I do that again? Okay. Now, I can't promise that I'm going to get through every single one of these before my first lesson at 3:30. I was going to go out for a walk. I'd like to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get through as much of this as I can before 2:30. It's 12:30 now. That gives me an hour before I'm then tutoring for 3 hours back to back. So, and I've also got some emails to catch up. I've got some messages I really need to reply to. I will do my best to get through as many of these as I can. I'm going to record this as a separate video so that I can say, if there's any of these you are interested in seeing, put a message in the comments. I know it's lunchtime now, so hopefully there will be some students who are like getting a bit of a panic, or just generally preparing for tomorrow. So if there's anything that stands out to you, please let me know, and I will kind of prioritize it based on demand. Okay, right, so these are split up into the 4 sections. So we've got number, algebra, statistics, and geometry. So I'm going to go through the number 1 first. So we've got calculating with a percentage. So either an increase, working out an increase or a decrease. Increase means you're adding on, decrease, you're taking off. Compound interest, percentage profit, reverse percentage, and then working out on a calculator and rounding. So it could be like decimal places, significant figures, that sort of part. That's what's been written down here. So you kind of get a feel for that. So on algebra, there are 4 topics. Solving an inequality. So where you've got that less than or greater than sign, or greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. For intermediate level, just treat it like an equal sign, but just don't get rid of the equal sign. But anyway, I will go through this in the videos. Expanding double brackets. I've done a few videos of that. There's a couple I've uploaded onto my YouTube channel, Maths with a Smile, last couple of days actually. But I'll go through that. Dividing and multiplying with indices. There are a set number of rules. There's a set couple of rules that just remind yourself what they are. Adding powers, subtracting powers. Trial and improvement, stick a number in, see what answer you get. Is it too big, too small? Okay, adapt your answer that's going in. Again, I'm not going to go through loads on that now because I want to obviously get on with the recording. Geometry now, so we've got 13 things in here. So translation and enlargement, or enlargement. Drawing a bearing or calculating a bearing from a diagram. The circumference and area of a circle. What is the rule? Pi r squared, or pi times the diameter. Make sure you know that and remember it. Pythagoras. So, and then we've also got trigonometry. So all about finding sides and angles in right angled triangles. This is for those people who are just watching this out of interest. This is allowed for this paper. So basically, make sure you check all your answers and double check it with your calculator. Right, I've got storage is low, so I'm going to hurry up anyway. So we've got, volume of cylinders and cuboids. Remember, there's 3 things you need to multiply. Density, mass and volume. Remember the formula. Angles in polygons. Angles in polygons. What does the word regular mean? Number of sides, take away 2 multiplied by 180. Just again, I'll go into detail. Angles in parallel lines. Okay, well, what are your alternate angles? What are your opposite angles? Your corresponding angles, and your, what's the other one? Co-interior angles. Angles on a straight line, they all apply on this. Similar shapes. Area of a triangle or a parallelogram. Constructions of things, so things like, can you draw a 60-degree angle, a 90-degree angle, angle bisector and a line bisector. I've done a couple of videos on that quite recently actually as well, so that's on my YouTube channel. And dimensional analysis. Now I've got to think, I can't think what dimensional analysis is unless I'm trying to think of whether you're just looking at like how you're looking at something in 3D. So is it like your front elevation, side elevation, things like corners, vertices, edges, sides? I need to just double check on the actual definition that I'm giving there. And then last one is statistics. So we've got scatter diagram, estimated mean, I'm going to hurry up with this now, median and range, pie charts, probability of more than one event. So, okay, well, is there a level of independence? So we multiply them together. Pie charts, tree diagrams is a good example. And guess what's next on the list? Tree diagram. And then a sample space diagram. So looking at all the different possibilities of things that can happen and different combinations. Quite often that latter one can either be like items on a menu. It could be when you're like rolling a dice and throwing a coin. And then you've got like a spinner that's got different numbers on it. And it's like, oh, we multiply those 2 things together. What are the different possibilities that you can get and that sort of thing. So I'm going to stop this now. I'm going to record those separately, just an example of them, and literally as quickly as I can, I'm going to upload them onto YouTube with a quick link to TikTok. I'm just trying to think of the quickest way I can get this out to you without me worrying about editing it and worrying about the fact that I might have said something a bit wrong. If I do, I tend to notice things like that as I'm going through anyway, and I'll say, right, oh, hang on a minute, that was meant to be an X squared, and I'll kind of correct it later on as I'm going through. But yeah, there we go. I'm going to leave that now. All the best for tomorrow if you are watching this. But if you are, please pop something in the comments. If I see it, I will keep checking just to see what people are wanting out there. All right, you take care. Bye bye.